Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2017 Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremony. How is everyone tonight? Doesn't the gym look great? Pace yourself, we're going to have a free throw competition in the back to see who gets to eat first. That's the way it works here tonight. My name is Matt Rainey with CBC Radio 1's Island Morning. It's a pleasure to be invited to be part of this event. And first of all, I just want to say a huge thanks to the organizers, Ron and Chris and Bruce and Stephanie, everybody who worked behind the scenes to make this night happen. If we can give them a round of applause. And a huge congratulations to the inductees, their family, friends, fellow alumni. Nice to see all of you. Really happy to have all of you with us here this evening. And a special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Grant Thornton. We appreciate your support to make this event happen. I also wanted to extend a special welcome to Jackie Podger, UPEI's Vice President, Finance and Administration, joining us this evening. So we have an exciting night planned. We have some tributes, we have some speeches. We actually have this set up to have a little round table hot stove conversation with our inductees tonight, so we're looking forward to that. This is leading into what is going to be a really exciting weekend here at UPEI, an opportunity to maybe see some future Hall of Famers in action. It's the, I think the men's basketball team maybe here in the back. Make some noise, thank you. So it is the home opener tomorrow night for both the men's and women's basketball teams against UNB. The women's game goes at 6 p.m. and then at 8 o'clock it's the men. You've got the men's hockey versus Dalhousie. Tomorrow, or on Saturday, it's the Rugby Final. It's the Maritime University Championship, UPEI, taking on St. FX here at home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's hockey and basketball action through the day, so really hope you can take in some of that action, and as I say, you may see some future Hall of Famers. Now, I can smell a beautiful dinner there. I appreciate everybody who's worked to make that happen, and we're going to coordinate the evening in just a moment, but first it's a pleasure to welcome Sister Sue Kidd to the stage to say grace.
You can tell I'm not at church. They clap before we pray. Let's take a moment. We gather tonight in gratitude for the blessings received and shared. And we gather tonight to remember past accomplishments and challenges. And we gather tonight to celebrate what was, always with a hope of what can be, what will be. We pray in gratitude for bodies that are, maybe were fit and strong, and the will to use them as builders and coaches and athletes. We pray for those moments in training where people did not shrink away from discipline. They knew there was a goal and they remained steadfast. And so tonight we ask a blessing for a right attitude, that each one of us can reach deeper inside ourselves. We pray a firm belief in a greater good that moves beyond the individual to a team and a future. And we pray tonight with an enduring commitment to never quit, with the strength to soar, to persist, to care, and to trust. And so we ask a blessing on all that has passed, all that is present, and all that will be, Panthers, now and to come. We pray blessing on our gathering, on our meal, and on our conversation. May we continue to be agents of change, growth, and development on our campus and in our communities. For all this tonight we pray. Amen. Go Panthers.
Beautiful words from Sister Sue. Thank you for that grace. And now we're going to have a lovely meal. We'll be back with the induction part of the evening a bit later on. I think Mark Duran is going to help us coordinate the dinner here. He's the catering manager, so Mark's going to help us with the logistics. Enjoy your meal, and we'll talk again soon. huge thank you to our catering manager, Mark Durand, and everybody who has helped to prepare this incredible meal tonight. Thank you, Mark, and everyone. Serving. Appreciate that. It is a pleasure now, as we move things along, to welcome to the stage, to have a conversation with you, the Director of Athletics and Recreation here at UPEI, Chris Huggin, ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone, I guess you can hear me all right. I'd like to welcome you to the Chai Wan Young Sports Center for this very special evening. Night to celebrate 3 amazing accomplishments, 3 amazing people, and a lot of passion and pride that went into this university and athletics department. Before I get started, I'm going to do a little short presentation to bring you up to speed on some of the things that are going on here. But before I do, there are certainly some thanks that I'd like to share. And I'd like to start, as was mentioned, our VP Finance and Administration, Jackie Podgers, here tonight. I know she's had an extremely busy day, and it's her second function of the evening, so your presence is very much appreciated, but your support even more so. Of course, this wouldn't happen if we didn't have admin who believed in athletics and recreation and allowed us to try to continue to move this program forward, so thank you. To our sponsor, Grant Thornton, very much appreciate your support and your presence here tonight as well. There's a number of people who have made this happen, but I really want to point out the person who always ends up hiding at the back of the room during these events that he's done 90% of the work on, and that's Ron Anir. Ron, I'm not sure exactly where you are because I can't see you, but I think let's give Ron a big round of applause. To Bruce Donaldson and Anthony Gill and the team at Development and Alumni Engagement, to Chartwell's Mark Duran, great work. To our student athletes and our coaches who have come tonight to support this event. To Mike Needham, our photographer, who allows this event to live on and we can share the memories with so many people. To the families and friends, and of course to the inductees. It's a great privilege to have you all here tonight and to have you part of our Panther family. So thank you very much for being here. Got the 1 second. Hey, sorry. When you think you have all the details aligned, you realize you don't. I especially want to give a big thanks to Matt Rainey for coming here tonight. You're outstanding. Most of us, I want to say many of us wake up to you every morning, and you get us off to a good start every day. Your energy and enthusiasm is amazing, and so glad to have you here. So thank you, Matt. Last year, when I addressed the group here, we really framed it in the proud past, bright future, and we certainly do believe in that. This obviously being part of our proud past, and the groups that were here earlier tonight, a big part of our bright future. This year, I'm going to take you on another sort of pathway, if we could, and many of you might have seen this logo. If not, it will soon be highly recognizable, but based on the work by many of our student athletes who constantly put themselves out there, not just in sport or in school, but also in the community, we came up with this Panthers Unite. And it's driving kind of everything we do. You can see the 4 pillars of community, education, opportunity, and tradition. And I'm going to break down a little bit because some of you might be asking why the 1 rather than the I. So, grounded and instilled in our principles of Panther Pride, which are almost 3 years old, 2.5 years old now, and our student athletes, to the best I could say, model them regularly, in and out of every day of practice, school, games and whatnot. Our coaches, our department, our team, we are grounded in principles, and that drives us. But the one signifies three main things. One, be your best. Be your best as a son, daughter, friend, sibling, academic, athlete, citizen. Be your best. No, sorry. No, go back. Hey, the other number one is the power of one. We've seen so many people who make a decision to try to do something for others that then turns into something like this. I have to again go back to Ron Anir. His vision years ago was to induct people into the Hall of Fame. He came back about 2.5 years ago and said, it's time. We've got the team. It's time to start to recognize our crew. One example of many you can think of what one person can do and the power of one. And to the bottom of that is our uniqueness of being a province with one university. Our goal is to connect in some way, shape, or form with every single Prince Edward Islander so they feel part of UPEI, whether it's as a fan, whether it's because we've gone into their schools, where they've attended our camps, whether it's because they look up to our role models, our student athletes, or they know someone who's at the university who they're friends of. We're going to continue to try to grow and grow and grow and reach out to the community. So unity and unite all starts within. And I could not ask for better support, a better team, day in and day out of our office. We are like this, we're tight. It allows us with that shared vision, not only of ours, but of the student athletes, to continue to try to expand our growing communities. I have a picture up there of Lee Reed, and I think this is a great example because recently we had all kinds of initiatives in our strategic plan about how we could connect, but we didn't have the person who could go out and do that. And Jackie gave the okay to pilot this. And Lee's been doing an outstanding job of taking some of these things on paper and bringing them to life. As a result of that uniting piece, our fan base has increased significantly this year. Our camps have increased significantly. Our sponsorships are up. And despite the fact that we haven't jumped to the top of the ranks in all of our divisions and leagues, we are making good progress, and I do believe we'll be getting there soon. The unity continues again from within in the student athletes. We have a student leadership team who are outstanding. Every second Tuesday, they come in, they give up their time in their busy schedules to help improve their student athlete experience. And there's a couple pictures there of them as ambassadors for Keep It Social. We have a bus with Keep It Social on the back of it. They went into classrooms. They are arranging ways with our support and their voice of connecting Panthers. They connect Panthers in their own teams, but I would say with almost 100% certainty that there's no group of athletes at any other university that are closer than UPEI Panthers. They've arranged various activities that are full student athlete engaging, and the energy that comes out of that is amazing. Again, the importance of connecting community, our future, the reach out to kids, uniting. I'll try to speed through a little bit, but you can see the growth of our Panther Academy. This past summer, we had a record-setting, not even close. We averaged about 150 campers a day for 10 weeks. Last year, we were about 100 campers a day. This is because Jonathan Lane and his team do such an amazing job of caring for every single camper as if it's their own child. We're uniting. We're uniting this community. And continued efforts. For years now, well before I was around, men's hockey had a strong booster club. They had an annual event where it was well attended. I know each of the years that I've been around to watch it, it's grown by 4 or 5 people every single year. It's an amazing weekend in January or February. We've got groups. I saw Chris Galland at the back who's jumped on board to help drive men's soccer. We've got Jeff Walker, George, Doug, a number of guys who've come back on board to try to grow our booster programs for men's basketball. And Lee and myself have been in touch with representatives from every sport to try to build the alumni base and the alumni support so that we can get the additional funding and fan base to see ourselves excel in the near and long-term future. One of the last pillars of tradition is obviously very important that we recognize and celebrate and showcase our history. We do have the history boards that are out there that will be complete before Christmas. Up in the top left, we were working on a wall for all of our, what once was CIAU, then CIS, and now U Sports All-Canadian athletes. We've also got Athlete of Distinction boards, but we'll have a wall for everyone who's ever been. So by showcasing and celebrating that, we're uniting people, sharing and celebrating our past, and in so doing, our current student athletes, although we would hope they're not extrinsically motivated by those signs, hey, their intrinsic motivation says, hey, I aspire to be on that wall someday, and I don't have any problem with any athlete thinking on those lines. To tonight, the highest of honors that could possibly happen to a university varsity athlete, coach, administrator, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And with you here, we unite. We get to celebrate and share and grow. And again, I don't need to say any more amazing accomplishments that other people will tell you about, but I'm very privileged to be here in your presence and to have you here to celebrate with us tonight. So we will move forward, but thank you very much for your attention. I'd now like to call upon Lacey McLaughlin, one of the managers at Grant Thornton, a former athlete here at UPEI, a current coach of our field hockey program, to come forward and pass on some messages from Grant Thornton.
Good evening, everyone. My name, as Chris said, is Lacey McLaughlin, and I'm a manager with Grant Thornton. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Grant Thornton, we are an accounting firm that specializes in audit, tax, and advisory services. As one of many former Panthers currently working at Grant Thornton, I'm honored to be here this evening to congratulate and celebrate those who have contributed to the ongoing success of UPEI athletics. Athletics provides a strong foundation for one's success in life and professional endeavors. Qualities such as hard work, teamwork, and leadership skills are some of those things that translate in the future. Here at UPEI, we're so lucky to have a strong athletic program, thanks to people like tonight's inductees. On behalf of Grant Thornton, I would just like to congratulate each one of the inductees this evening, including the late Barb Mullaly and their families. We thank you for your hard work and dedication as you have truly shaped the success of UPEI athletics. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Lacey, and again, thank you to Grant Thornton for their support of this evening. And Chris, great words. We love the enthusiasm and what you've been doing with this program, so thank you very much. And now we begin the special part of the presentation tonight. This is why we are all here, inducting 3 deserving new members into the UPEI Sport Hall of Fame. And we begin with the induction of Barb Mullaly, former UPEI teacher, coach, administrator, director of athletics and recreation, joining the UPEI Sport Hall of Fame in the Builder category. And I believe we have a video tribute to share with you now.
Oh, there are so many things that made Barb special. One, that laugh that was contagious to listen to every day. But for me, as Barb, she for me was one of the first strong female role models that I had in sport, which is, of course, a male-dominated area. And she was strong, but never overemphasized what she was feeling. She was just really good at what she did.
When I think about Mullaly, I think of a person who was very passionate, very committed, who had a wonderful perspective on life, who was very wise, a person who understood the challenges of the work that we were doing, whether it be as a student athlete, or as an assistant coach, or as a head coach in a very, very competitive environment here in the AUS.
Barb is the type of person who is a great friend. She was the go-to person for many of us who wanted to get some counsel on issues. You could always rely on Barb to be grounded, sensible, logical, and she was always there to give you advice, sometimes advice you didn't want to hear, but she was sure, for sure, those times to give it to you. Barb was a wonderful friend, someone who enjoyed the positive parts of life, a wonderful sense of humor, optimistic, and when Barb was in there, we always had a great time. Wonderful person.
I knew her initially as a coach, and then I became an athlete under her for a couple of years when I came back to do my business degree at UPEI. And she was a great coach. She had a great ability to read individuals. She was a great mentor, and she always, I think, brought out the best in the athletes, not just on the athletic side, but on the scholastic side, and really a mentor to push people to go beyond what they might have been comfortable with.
She was very helpful in terms of helping me to see myself as I was in particular situations, and that was very helpful in life.
Big thing that comes to mind for me is Barb's open door. When she was a field hockey coach when I started in 1980, her office was over on the main floor of the alumni gym, and that was a really tiny, cramped space. But it didn't matter. Barb's door was open, you were welcome in her office along with everything and everyone else that might have been in there at the time. It was a great place for her own athletes to go and talk to her, but other varsity athletes, and I really believe students at the university who wanted to go in and just talk to her about anything, whether it was their courses, how they're getting along in their sport, or just a chance to sit down and shoot the breeze and have a laugh and maybe even get a bit of university gossip. It was a great place to go.
When I think of university sport here at the University of Prince Island, Barb Mullaly comes to mind. Barb Mullaly was a student athlete here. She taught here. She coached here. She was an administrator. I think that Barb Mullaly's legacy is what the University of Prince Island Athletic Department is today. And the work that she did as a pioneer in her chosen areas of sport are certainly very present in the hallways of the campus as well.
I guess congratulations on being into the Hall of Fame, and wish you were here.
I'd like to thank her for all that she did for me, but I was fortunate enough to get to tell Barb that before we lost her. So that's it. I think you should be proud of how well so many of your athletes did academically, on the volunteer side, and in the workforce. Tremendous mentor to everybody, and you balance that off with your own presentation because you were a strong role model, and we miss you.
I would say to her, wow, Barb, what a legacy that you had, not only for the university, but for all the friends, me included. And I would say to her, I'm very proud of you, and have always learned so much from you. You've been a mentor to so many people. And that I'd like to say thank you. And I hope she felt that she was that important person to so many of us. And that there'd be no one who deserved this honor more than her. Because this university meant so much to her and all the people in it. And she was a constant supporter of people to move forward, be the best they can be. And so, go girl, you done good.
Video, and I know it could have gone on for hours with more tributes. To read the induction citation for the late Barb Mullaly, a pleasure to welcome to the stage a close friend of Barb's, a confidant, a former Olympian, former Dalhousie Director of Athletics, Karen Moore.
Just in case I need the flashlight in, and I'm thinking, there's not enough light up here. So just excuse me while I get that on. Okay, UPEI Sports Hall of Fame's inductees, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It is with mixed feelings that I'm here this evening to read the citation for my dear friend and colleague, Barb Mullaly. While I'm so pleased that Barb is being inducted into the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame, I'm saddened that we do so just a month or so shy of the 1-year anniversary of her passing. I do know that she's here in spirit with us tonight in this very building where her hearty laugh so often was heard. As athletic director at Dalhousie while Barb was the AD at UPEI, I was fortunate to work alongside this remarkable woman, to see her in action as a leader in sport and as a leader among women in sport. She was always a mentor for me, as she was for so many other colleagues across the country. And whenever I ran into significant challenges, Barb was the first person I would call for advice. And of course, she always made time to help. When it came time for a strategic planning process for our department at Dalhousie, she was the first and only person I called to lead the charge. And so, I'm very humbled and privileged to help induct Barb Mullaly as a builder to the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame. Barb's 4-decade career as a classroom instructor, coach, and nationally decorated athletic administrator began in 1967 at Prince of Wales College when she joined the physical education department as a lecturer and coach. When UPEI was formed in 1969, she began a long career at the university, initially as the first women's basketball and field hockey coach. She taught academically for 20 years in the physical education department and education faculty. She then served for 13 years as UPEI's Director of Athletics and Physical Education, becoming one of the country's most respected university sport administrators. In 2003, she became the university's first Director of Wellness, and in 2004, she added the role of Fair Treatment Advocate. She retired from these roles in 2006. Barb served as President of Atlantic University Sport and chaired numerous committees in sports in the AUS. Upon her retirement, she was awarded an honorary lifetime membership in the conference. Barb was always the voice of reason and practicality around our conference meetings, and I don't ever recall her saying no to any requests we made of her to lead the charge in processes and projects. Anything she could help with, she was more than willing, despite the fact that she was one of the busiest people I ever met. She was the longtime chair of the Canadian Inter-University Sport Finance Committee and a member of the CIS Executive Committee of the Board of Directors. In 2007, she was awarded the prestigious CIS Austin Matthews Award for outstanding service to university in sport over her career. And basically that's like the Academy Awards Lifetime Achievement Award. While these honors are a testament to how Barb was respected among her peers in sport in the region and across the country, she was equally admired by her UPEI and PEI sport family. With Barb, it was easy to see her passion for the university and its people. That dedication extended to many other community, provincial, and national organizations, networks, and committees, and we are all much better off because of her contributions. Barb was a master instructor of coaching theory for the National Coaching Certification Program and taught that program here on UPEI for almost 20 years. She served as president and director of Sport PEI, as PEI representative for the Canadian Association for Advancement of Women in Sport, and in multiple capacities over several Canada Games cycles. She took on extremely active roles when the province of PEI hosted the Games in 1991 and 2009. And during the 2009 Canada Summer Games, she returned to her beloved UPEI campus as a volunteer to lead the Athletes Village. There could be no one more qualified. As was noted in the citation when Barb was named a founder of the university in 2010, and I quote, "For someone who burned with a fierce competitiveness, it is remarkable that in all of Barb's efforts across a wide spectrum of activities, what emerged was a desire to make every situation a win-win. Where she was, there were no losers. As a coach, teacher, and sport administrator, her career was strongly characterized by an overarching commitment to the well-being and lifelong development of every student-athlete. It is no accident that so many of them have gone on to success in leadership positions across the country. At the time of her death, Barb was active in several community organizations, including serving as president of Seniors College PEI, past president of Recreation PEI, secretary of the UPEI Retirees Association, and a member of the Go PEI Advisory Council. Barb was also the 2013 winner of the Rotary Club of Charlottetown Royalty's Mentor Award. And indeed, Barb was the ultimate mentor, supporting students, colleagues, and friends in every endeavor. Barb's 40-year career at the UPEI was marked by her rock-solid integrity. She did not cut corners. She did not compromise on what was right and wrong. She made sure UPEI was always on the side of what was right, not simply taking the easy route. And so I'm so honored, on behalf of the University of Prince Edward Island, and in the presence of her partner Mary Lou, family, and friends, to induct Barb Mullaly posthumously into the Builder category of the University of PEI Sports Hall of Fame. Mary Lou, would you please come forward and accept the award?
With mixed emotions that I am here this evening to accept this award. This is an emotional time for those of us who are close to Barb, as it will be 1 year tomorrow that she received a fateful diagnosis, and 1 month later she passed away. So this is kind of an emotional time for us all. However, first of all, I'd like to thank Ron, Chris, and all those in athletics and at UPEI who made this event happen. I would also like to thank Karen for reading the citation. And I would also congratulate Alanna and George for their induction into the Hall of Fame this evening. Barb loved UPEI. She spent her whole career on this campus. She thrived being around young people, particularly student athletes. They were her kids. She believed that sports, particularly team sports, teach many life skills that were so valuable to athletes long after their playing days. She was often heard telling her friends to only hire people who play team sports, as they make the best employees. As athletic director, she wanted to ensure that all student athletes had a positive experience while playing at UPEI. She rarely missed a home game, and on weekends when all the teams were at home, she would be at parts of every one of those games. She was a fierce competitor and wanted teams to win, but not at all costs. She was extremely proud when athletes excelled, both on the playing field and in the classroom. Her biggest frustration was seeing an athlete not live up to their academic potential. She would have been very pleased to see 71 academic All-Canadians this past year. She had a passion for sport and was a tremendously strong advocate for fairness and equity. She worked especially hard to ensure that women were in leadership roles, and she led by example by taking on challenges that others would not. She had a can-do attitude and was one of the most positive people that you'd ever want to meet. Barb was never one who wanted to be in the spotlight, but I think she would have been very pleased to receive this well-deserved honor tonight. Because of the many positive and inspirational attributes, her friends and family created an award to honor her legacy, the Barb Mullaly Memorial Award. It's given annually to a returning academic All-Canadian student athlete who displays a positive attitude and has leadership and mentorship qualities that Barb exhibited throughout her career. I would like to thank all those who have made a contribution, and also to let you know that the fund is still accepting donations, as it hasn't received that magic number yet to become an endowed fund. Finally, I would like to thank our friends and family for all their support in the past year, and I would especially want to thank those who traveled from off island to attend this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next new member of the Hall of Fame, joining in the athlete category, Alanna Taylor, All-Canadian academic, All-Canadian lawyer, community supporter, who has done so much for the university and on the field and off. So I think we have a tribute video for you, Alanna.
Alanna Taylor was the goalie of my team. She was an outstanding teammate. She was a fierce competitor, a great leader, on the field and off the field. She was a pleasure to be around. She always worked hard, and just happy to play with her.
My way of remembering and knowing and describing Alanna anymore is her friendship qualities, and those qualities is really how I would describe her as how she is as an athlete too. Those qualities as how driven she is, and how kind she is, and how she wears many hats and does them all with the passion is how she is as an athlete as well.
I think what made Alanna special, both as a teammate and coach, was just her passion for her team. I'm sure if you have people talking about Alanna, the word passion is going to come up all the time, over and over. As a player, the passion she had, keeping the ball out of the net wasn't matched by anyone I played with before or since. And the same thing with as a coach, and she did expect that same passion from the players that played for her, for sure.
Alanna and I always had a conversation from the bench to the net. I would roar something that would make no sense to her, but, and she would roar back, you know, like this, and I keep on roaring something just the opposite the next time. And what we're doing is when we're playing away, especially away, against a good team like Dow and Acadia, and we're in a slow time, which means 15 minutes left in the game, and I wanted to kill the clock. I would start yelling things at her that made no sense whatsoever, and she'd be yelling back at me. Then the referee wouldn't call me for delaying the game or anything like that, or her. But Alanna didn't know what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on, and sometimes I didn't know what was going on.
My favorite memory of Alanna, and I was warned about what I would say here, it had to be one time we were playing together, and we were at soccer nationals over in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And we were playing against a team from the Quebec representative, and if we won this game, we were going into, I believe it was a semi-final game or a higher placing game. I forget exactly right now. But we were playing Quebec. We had an incredible game against them. Part of that reason would be the number of saves Alanna made in the net, but at the end of the day, we lost the game 2-1. So Alanna, the only reason we were even in the game probably is because of the save she made. But Alanna could only see that one save that she didn't get at the end that moved them forward to win. So the funny part of this story is when we went back to the hotel, and we were in the hotel room, Alanna went and locked herself in the bathroom and wouldn't talk to anyone. And after about an hour, she opened up the door and said, I was allowed to come in as long as I had a drink before her when we were in there. And her first response was she was crying, she was upset, and she felt the weight of the loss fell on her shoulders, and she just kept repeating that she was tremendously sorry, which again is a silly thing because she was the person that kept us in the game in the first part.
I would just like to say congratulations to Alanna. She's a great ambassador for the university, as well as a fierce competitor, great leader, and excellent teammate. I want to say good luck to her in the future, for herself and her family. I'm just happy to have been part of it. Thanks, Alanna.
First of all, Lance, I love you. Congratulations. No one's certainly more deserving of this award than you are. You are always proud to wear the green and white, coach the green and white, and now still talk positively and highly. I think I've probably spent more time in hotel rooms with you than my husband, and I've been married for 14 years. So just enjoy those experiences with you, that time with you, and just enjoy your night because you really deserve it.
On behalf of Alanna's high school friends, and we call it our elementary friends, we wanted to say congratulations to you. You're one of our favorite people in life, and with your storytelling ability, we wanted to let you know that this is a story that we're going to be able to tell for years to come about this evening and about this honor that we are so proud and honored to call you our friend.
Congratulations, well deserved honor, and it's no surprise to me, especially with your background and your family genes. Your grandfather, the Taylors and McDonald's, you couldn't ask for a better, and your father and mother, you couldn't ask for better parents or grandparents. Great families both.
Alanna Taylor, and to help with the induction, we're going to hear from someone special in Alanna's life. This is another video we're going to roll. This is someone who was coached by Alanna, a close friend, really a kindred spirit, UPEI soccer alumni, student athlete, and former CIAU Player of the Year. We're going to hear from Amy Connelly.
UPEI Sports Hall of Fame inductees, friends, former players, ladies and gentlemen, Alanna Taylor is one of the finest student athletes to attend UPEI and wear the green and white. And what is extremely fitting about Alanna's induction into the Sports Hall of Fame this year is that it's alongside her mentor and friend, the late Barb Mullaly. As Alanna recently commented, Barb is the only athletic director that she knew as an athlete and a coach. And they both served on the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame committee together, the very committee that is inducting them tonight. Certainly it can be said that Alanna is a leader and an example for women in sport and in life, as Barb was to her. And while we gathered tonight to induct her as an athlete into the Sports Hall of Fame, I must add that Alanna has contributed to UPEI athletics and recreation in more ways than just a player, including being coach of the women's soccer team when I played in the early 2000s. Therefore, it is my extreme pleasure, and I'm so humbled to help Alanna be inducted tonight by reading her citation. Alanna first played with the UPEI women's volleyball team from 1989 to 92, but became goalkeeper for the UPEI women's soccer squad in 91. She was named Rookie of the Year in 1989 and MVP in 1990 for volleyball, and received the UPEI Mickey Place Award in 1991. Though an amazing multi-sport athlete, soccer is where she truly shone. Alanna was one of the greatest goalkeepers we've seen play the game at UPEI, in the AUAA conference and in the country. She's an elite goalkeeper in the provincial, regional, and national level. In 1992, for soccer, she was named UPEI Team MVP, AUAA First Team All-Conference, CIAU Second Team All-Canadian, AUAA Player of the Year, and a finalist for CIAU Player of the Year. That same year, she was AUAA and UPEI Female Athlete of the Year. Alanna was the AUAA conference finalist for the National Howard Mackey Award, awarded for athletes' performance, sportsmanship, and leadership ability. In 1993, she was named to the AUAA First Team All-Conference and was a finalist for the Sports PEI Athlete of the Year both 1992 and 93. In addition to her success, Alanna excelled in the classroom and was recognized as a CIAU Academic All-Canadian from 1990 to 93. She was awarded the Gordon and Muriel Bennett Award as the UPEI student athlete with the highest overall marks over 4 years. She graduated from UPEI with a Bachelor of Arts, majoring in political science and a minor in history with first-class standing. Alanna furthered her studies at UMB, graduating with her law degree in 1997, and has been practicing since then with Cox and Palmer in Charlottetown, where she is now partner. Alanna's practice consists of a wide range of areas, including litigation, family, property, employment, and labor. As with her academics and in sport, she has excelled in her profession, and along with many other accolades, has been named one of the best family lawyers for the last 3 years by the publication Best Lawyers in Canada. Alanna has given back, including serving as an assistant coach from 1998 to 2002 and head coach in 2003 with UPEI's women's soccer team. In addition to serving on the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame nominations committee, she has also participated on several search committees on behalf of UPEI athletics and recreation. She serves the broader community in a variety of roles as well. Alanna is past board member of the PEI Recreation and Sports Association for Physically Challenged, Upper Room Hospitality and Ministry, Sports Special Olympics PEI, and Glen Stewart Home and School Association. She currently serves as a member of the board for Soccer PEI and continues to be seen on the pitch, coaching her pride and joy, her daughters Kate and Ava, with the Stratford Soccer Minor Association. It is my honor, on behalf of UPEI, to congratulate my mentor and my friend, Alanna Taylor. on behalf of the UPEI Women's Soccer Student Athlete to be inducted into the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame. Love you lots. Cheers.
I think we can all toast to that. New member of the UPEI Sport Hall of Fame, Alanna Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Huggin is going to make the presentation.
That was really quite surreal. To sit and watch people watch you watch a video about yourself is very strange. I really am incredibly blessed. I have been incredibly fortunate in my life. I'm very glad to be here, and I'm particularly so incredibly happy to have so many of the people that I love in the same room. Obviously, I did a great job of picking the people who were going to do my videos. Still not sure about Lisa though, but you know, we can talk later. I certainly want to thank the committee for picking me. I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that Barb and I were on the original committee. I don't know if that helped. Hopefully it did, I guess. As Amy mentioned, Barb is my friend. I certainly want to congratulate Mary Lou and Barb's family and friends. Our friend Patsy said this about Barb at her memorial. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Staying in a safe harbor was not what Barb was built for, nor was it what she did in her life. She was a trailblazer. I think everyone can certainly attest to that. I think that she was the first, or one of the only female athletic directors in the AUS for some time. As her friend said, she was a go-to person in the AUS and the CIS. She had a lot for women at UPEI and for women in general. Barb stood up for what was right. She led by example. And UPEI is a better place because of her. Barb's my friend. I was proud to know her, and I'm humbled that we are being inducted together. I have a lot of people to thank. I'm going to go as quickly as I can, and my family and friends are saying, yeah, right, you're going to be really quick. Anyway, I'm going to try to. At UPEI, I was part of the volleyball and soccer teams, but I was certainly also part of a bigger UPEI Panther team, and that started with the Sports Center staff. They made both my academic and my athletic life better, and I can't stand here today without acknowledging their role. And they are Ronnie Lear, Neil Kinsman, Carol Hertz, Vince Mulligan, and 3 women who are no longer with us, Barb, Janice Robinson, and Janet Rogers. Janice Robertson, everyone knows, you needed any information about what was going on at the Sports Center, she was your girl. I have to thank Vince. What can you say about his video? The thing is, I knew what he was doing, just so everyone knows. I knew what he was doing. But I do acknowledge at least that he says that even sometimes he didn't know what he was doing. I will note this though about Vince. He was inducted last year and wouldn't speak on his own behalf in a video, but spoke for me tonight, so I certainly appreciate that. Vince was incredibly kind to me. He was loyal to his players, and we were loyal to him. He gave us his best and expected our best. He encouraged me, he pushed me, he supported me, and he made me better. As everyone I'm sure surely knows, that they broke the mold with Vince. He is a true original, and I love him. To the women that I was fortunate enough to play with, I thank them. I was not easy. When you hear that I was passionate, that's a nice way of saying that I was very, very intense. I demanded a lot of myself and my teammates. I hated to lose more than I loved to win, but I love them. And certainly, as my friend Trish said earlier tonight, I really would have taken a bullet for any of them. We were loyal to one another, and we gave our best to one another, and we had a lot of fun, usually in the off seasons, because we were essentially on lockdown during the season. We weren't allowed to do anything. I'm really deeply and incredibly honored to be the first women's soccer player to be inducted into the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame. I would certainly not be here without these fabulous women. I share this with my teammates, the wonderful women that I coached with, that I coached, and all the other female soccer players at UPEI. And my guess is that Amy Connelly is going to be the next one inducted, and I'll be back to see that. I also need to thank my extended family, my cousins, aunts, and uncles, and my in-laws who are here tonight. They really are quite a bunch, as many of you know, and I'm glad to be related to most of them. They have encouraged and supported me throughout the years, and they always ensured that my ego didn't get too big, I can tell you that. And tonight I'm certainly thinking of my relatives who are no longer here, in particular my grandparents, who I'm sure would really enjoy tonight. I have a number of friends here from Cox and Palmer, another wonderful team that I'm a part of, and I'm so glad that you can be here tonight. As you saw in my video, I have some wonderful friends, and I have many of them here tonight. I have often told people that I have the best friends in the world, and that is completely and utterly true. I was reading some quotes about friendship the other day, and I saw this one that I loved. It says, "Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by doubling our joys and dividing our grief." These ridiculously, fiercely loyal, brilliant, funny, courageous, strong, compassionate women make my life better. They make me better. And I'm ridiculously proud to be able to call you my friends. Thank you. To my sisters, Mary Lou did a great job, and I'm up here crying. Like, hold it together, Lane, hold it together. To my sisters, Karen L, it was not easy to come after me. They had to deal with a lot of, can you do this like Alanna? Are you like Alanna? And that was difficult, but I love them and I'm very proud of them. My niece and my nephew, Mad and Lou, they're good, kind people with big hearts, and I'm incredibly delighted to be their aunt. Mad is here tonight. She is one of the strongest people that I've ever met, and I hope that one day I can be nearly as strong as you are. To my parents, for their love and their support. In my work, you've heard that I do a lot of family lives, seeing what happens to people who don't have love and support from their parents, and frankly, it can really make all the difference in their lives. I was encouraged to do whatever I wanted to do. They waited in gyms and fields and drove countless miles and bought various items of sports equipment. They always encouraged me. They always taught me to do my best and to finish what I started. Quitting was never really much of an option. They were there for the wins and for the losses, and their support is a huge reason why I'm here tonight, and I can never thank you enough. To my husband, Jeff, and I appreciate being here tonight, but really the best thing to come out of UPEI was meeting Jeff. He gave me two of the greatest gifts of my life, Ava and Kate. Jeff is very loyal. When I told him I was being inducted, he said, well, it's about time. And finally, Ava and Kate, I've heard an analogy made that before you have kids, your life is in black and white, and after you have them, it's in color, which really, it's not fair to say that that applies to me, because that would be a bit of a disservice to the people in my life and to my life experiences before I had them. But I can say that after I had them, my world has been bigger and better and bolder and more beautiful. And blues are now sapphire and turquoise and cornflower, and reds are ruby and crimson and scarlet. The best thing I've ever done and will ever do by a country mile is to be your mom, and I'm ridiculously proud of both of you, and I can't wait to see where your journey will lead. Finally, and I promise this is the end, I want to finish with a poem that best exemplified my friend, Andrew Cody. He lived his life by a certain creed, and I believe that this poem was quite fitting for tonight, and I took a little bit of liberty with pronouns. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when they might have won had they stuck it out. Don't give up though the pace seems slow, you may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering woman. Often the struggler has given up when she might have captured the victor's cup, and she learned too late when the night came down how close she was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Thank you for your ear.
New member of the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame, Alanna Taylor. The McDonald's can make more noise than that, can't they, really? There we go. We have a nice comfy chair up here for you, Alanna. We're going to invite you back up here in a moment because we're going to sit and have a little chat. But what a great job, a beautiful speech, and thank you very much. Well, our final inductee tonight in the coaching category, joining the UPEI Sport Hall of Fame, George Morrison, coach, teacher, longtime UPEI basketball camp organizer, Basketball 101 founder, winner of 2 AUAA championships, numerous other accomplishments. Let's go to the video.
Coach, first and foremost, I wanted to congratulate you on this Hall of Fame induction. Long overdue and well deserved. Your impact on me specifically has been tremendous. I've learned so much from you, your organization, on and off the court, your demand that we work as hard as possible in each and every drill, in each and every day, has certainly transferred in other areas of my life. And I want to thank you for that and the impact you've had on me and the way I coach. And I wish you nothing but success in your future endeavors. And I'm really happy that you're on board working with me as a mentor. I couldn't think of a better person to help me in my pursuit of coaching.
I'd just like to congratulate George on being inducted into the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame. As a longtime basketball person, it was a pleasure to watch his teams play. The effort and energy that they exhibited as they played is a testament to George's coaching ability. Longtime coach, had some great memories of some very good teams watching George's team play. Congratulations, George, and well deserved.
George had a way of getting under your skin to aggravate you to the point of being so just angry and agitated that you would just want to go out and play your ass off.
You could handle George. He made a lot of people better both on and off the court. So I loved playing for George and the competitive atmosphere that was created around the team, because of just how
passionate George was about his team and his players. And the biggest thing, when I look back at my relationship with George over time, I think a lot of guys would say the same, you know, that George just really cares about his players. He always has and continues to. You know, George and I have become quite close friends over the years and get together regularly and chat often. And I know there's a lot of guys that would say the same thing about George. So many great memories and friendships that I've made, you know, through my time here, and it all started with George for me.
There was another really good story that I actually just remembered. When we went to Toronto at the Rising tournament, we actually, like, a few of us did live in Toronto, so we met the basketball guys at Rising, and we had a practice the day before. And there was a snowstorm, and I showed up a little bit late, and George didn't say anything to me, and he had me run for an hour at practice, and I didn't play with the first team at all, and I didn't say anything to George, and he actually, like, I did approach him afterwards and actually said this to George. I said, George, why did you have me run halfway through practice? And he just said that, well, you were late. And I'm like, well, there was a snowstorm. It doesn't matter, you were late. So I learned a lot that day, you know, and the lesson learned was there's no excuses, okay? Even Mother Nature, you cannot have excuses for being late. So I took that lesson, you know, I became a teacher, and I made a big deal about punctuality with my kids at school and with my basketball players. So again, thank you, George. I learned a lot from you, life skills, basketball skills especially. You know, like, you taught me more about basketball than any other coach has ever taught me growing up. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it.
But I remember at the end of my first year, I took him aside, I put my arm around him, and I said, George, I know you're hard on me, and that's fine. Whenever you're done yelling at me for one thing, make sure you find something else, because I want to keep learning. And he had his arms crossed, and he just looked up and laughed, and was, I'll see if I can oblige you. I'll always remember that.
George Morrison, congratulations for being inducted in the UPEI Hall of Fame. I'm not sure why it actually took this long for you to be inducted. But I wish you all the best, and thank you for being my coach for my 5 years here.
George, you know, I think this maybe has been a long time coming, and really happy to see it happen, and very well deserved. So congratulations, George.
Playing under you, some of the best memories of my life. A lot of them I can't mention here, but definitely a lot of fun, and got a lot of respect for you, and love running into you. So congratulations.
You know, George's legacy continues. My 11-year-old daughter took one of his basketball camps last summer and came back very charged up about the sport. And I couldn't help every time I noticed George in the gym. He was wearing a Boston Celtics logo on his outfit. And he's a longtime fan of that team, which segues us nicely into the person who is going to help us with the citation. This is someone who played for and learned a lot from his dad. Scott Morrison, George's son, longtime CIS head coach, and now assistant coach with the Boston Celtics. Let's go to the video.
Good evening, everyone. Congrats to all the inductees. Hope everyone that's attending the event's having a good day. Wish I could be there in person. Work in Boston's pretty busy, so Chris let me send this video introduction, I guess. I did a bunch of takes and they were way too long yesterday, so I thought I'd just try it again and maybe just make a couple comments about my experience growing up with my dad as the coach at UPEI, and focus on what I thought was the reasons that he became so successful. And the number one reason, in my opinion, was his work ethic that I haven't seen anyone else match to this day. Some of you would know, but for those that don't, my dad was a part-time coach at UPEI his whole career. 20 plus years he was paid as a part-time employee, but by no means was anything less than a full-time coach. He outworked many of his opponents and colleagues that were full-time employees. And just some examples of that would be the fact that he taught full-time in school at Morrell High and then later at Charlottetown Rural, and every day would hustle home, pack the car up, which usually included me, and drive him to Charlottetown for practice. Once he started teaching at Charlottetown Rural, he would come in early and get to the gym and shoot with people like myself or John McKircher or whoever wanted to get some extra work in, regardless of what he had going on. The other thing that really stood out to me and I appreciated even more once I became a university coach myself was his effort in recruiting. It's not easy to recruit to any school, especially a small school like UPEI with a little bit less resources, smaller place. The major recruiting centers are far away, but Dad put in more time than a lot of coaches that he was recruiting against. He hand wrote every letter his entire career, and that might mean one letter per week to 15, 20 guys, maybe even more if they were really good players that were considering UPEI as a school for them. He made countless phone calls. There was no emails then, no texts, so everything was handwritten letters and phone calls, and every day I would see the letters pile up on the table to bring into campus to mail. And then every night after practice, when we finally got home, we'd have dinner and things like that. And then I could hear him downstairs on his phone, making the calls throughout the night and just working his way through the time zones depending on how late it was. So those were some of the reasons that I think that he was able to be successful and build a strong program at UPEI. He wouldn't accept anything less than top effort from himself. And I think that carried over with his players many times. Some of the career highlights that he had, I know there's probably a sheet there with a list of them and numbers and stats, but some of the ones that stood out to those of us that were around during this time were for sure the 3 AUAA championships, the first that the school had ever won. It was a great time in the late 80s, early 90s. Lots of good rivalries with Acadia and St. Mary's and St. FX, and over those years, the Panthers definitely got the best of them. During that time, we had a 47-game winning streak that was in 2 different buildings. The old alumni gym where it was almost impossible to win for any opponent, and then when we moved over to the Connelly Sports Center, a lot of people thought that the home court advantage would go away, but the team was so strong that it just made it even that much tougher because there was more people in there screaming. Other than that, being the #1 ranked team in the country is nothing to sneeze at. Teams like Carleton, who've been there pretty steady over the last decade or so, make it look easy, but you can take my word for it that it's a very hard thing to accomplish, especially at one of the smaller schools. And to do that and in the process beat 2 different #1 teams is an incredible accomplishment that may never be repeated. Hopefully it will be at UPEI, but regardless of your school, it's an incredible thing to have on your resume. In addition to all those great stats and things that went into it, Dad also carried over his desire to help local basketball throughout the summers and off seasons, and even after he finished at UPEI. He started the UPEI basketball camps in 1980. They ran for 20 years, and I know for most of those years we probably averaged about 200 to 250 kids. That's a lot of kids coming through the system, and what that means is that not only was his impact on basketball felt in the present time, but it'll be continued to be felt for years to come, because those kids that attended those camps in the 80s and 90s are now parents, teachers, coaches themselves, and sharing that things that they learned at those camps that he set up. And to this day, you have to drag him out of the gym during camps. These things almost run themselves nowadays, but he does not leave any stone unturned. I dotted or T on cross. He's put everything he has into it like he has since he started coaching. That's why he's been successful, and that's why he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. So I don't want to take too much time. I think this is one of the most deserving inductees that UPEI has ever honored. Me personally, obviously he's had a great impact on my life. Both mom and dad have. They've been a great team together for all these years. But obviously I wouldn't have had the life that I enjoyed growing up with the Panthers as my extended family and a lot of great memories, as well as I wouldn't have had a chance to have the career that I've enjoyed so far. And basically I wake up every day tired and not much sleep and still wondering how my dad got it done himself all those years. And he's a great example for me to strive to be like every day when I wake up. And I'm sure a lot of his players often think of him as well in their current lives and how much time he put into all this. So Dad, congrats. Everyone have a great time. Moses says congrats too. He's tired of me talking, as you can see, and Suzanne gives her best as well. Hope everyone has a great night. Thanks again.
Jeff Walker up to help with the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, new member of the UPEI Sport Hall of Fame, George Morrison. Did you want to come up, George? We have a presentation for you here.
So George, on behalf of Scott and of the basketball programs at UPEI, it's definitely an honor for me to formally induct you into the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Before I get into a few words here, I'd like to congratulate Alanna and Barb, although unfortunately she's not here. Barb was my athletic director in the last part of my career. I enjoyed working for her, and I'd like to think that we got along well. I'd like to thank my family, my in-laws and former players that are here this evening. It all means a lot. I scratched these remarks down when I was given a math exam this morning. It's a statistics formula sheet. I'm very pleased to receive this honor of being inducted into the UPEI Sports Hall of Fame. I've spent a lot of time on this campus, 22 years coaching, and for the past 14 years teaching as a sessional in the math department. So it's, it's very gratifying to receive a reward from some place as close to home as this. I want to thank Chris and Ronnie and whoever else may have been on the selection committee for the honor that you're bestowing on me tonight by inducting me into the UPEI Hall of Fame. And I also want to say to Chris and Ron, I've said it to both of them this week, I can't think of a single thing more that you and your committee could have done to make this evening any better for Alanna and I. So we certainly appreciate the efforts that you put in. I want to take just a minute or two now to thank some people who have helped me along the way, if you will. And it's not so much even as saying thank you, which I certainly want to do, but I also really want to have you understand that I deeply believe that although it's me that's being inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight, the people that I'm going to mention, and God forbid some people that I might miss, are absolutely a part of this honor, and without any of them, I certainly wouldn't be receiving it. So I'm certainly going to start by thanking my wife, Anne. She's been a ton of support all through the years, all through my coaching career. While I was coaching or watching film or whatever, she was running the household and raising Scott, and for that, I certainly have the utmost appreciation. And actually, Ann and I, my basketball coaching started with Ann and I coaching women's basketball at Morrell Regional High School. A few years ago, I can remember telling a young coach who was, aspiring to coach at the university level, that if he wanted to do that and, coach put the amount of time in that was required at this level, he better find himself a good wife, or there'd be trouble somewhere down the line. I want to say a thank you to Dave Hermie McNeil. My first coaching at this level was as an assistant with Dave for 2 years with the women's basketball team. So I can say that, Dave got me into this this level of coaching, if you will. I mentioned working for Barb, but the athletic director that's nearest and dearest to my heart, and who I have a ton of respect for, is, unfortunately he has passed on as well, but is Ed Hilton. When Dave retired after we were together for 2 years, Ed gave me the opportunity to coach the women's team, and after 3 years of that, he made an even bolder move by asking me to coach the men's team, and that started a string of 17 years. Ed was a coach's athletic director. That may not have always pleased administration, but it sure as heck pleased us coaches. Then, of course, obviously, there's all the fine young men that I had the honor and pleasure to coach over the years. Now, mind you, I didn't always tell them that I thought they were fine young men, but they were. And after they moved on, it's been a pleasure and gratification as well to follow their careers. They all have, gone on to make their own mark in the world, a number of whom are here tonight. And also I might mention one of my former players who was on the video in Darrell Glenn, whom I'm extremely happy to see that he's here coaching the men's program. And let me tell you, we're on the way back. And last but certainly not least, my two longtime assistant coaches who were here in Len Lang and Dale Farish. Both of these gentlemen knew what the role of an assistant coach was, and both of them were excellent assistant coaches, and any success that I've had during the years is as much attributed to their help to me as anything that I may have contributed on my own. And finally, I appreciate the introduction from Scott and Moses. Thank you.
New member of the Hall of Fame, George Morrison, ladies and gentlemen. George, have a seat here. We're going to invite Alanna back up on stage, just have a little bit of a hot stove conversation to end the evening. And before we say our final goodbyes, we are going to have a little chat. One person I wanted to thank, because those videos were so well put together, was Thomas Becker, who put those videos together. Round of applause for Thomas, please, and the hard work there. How are mics? Check 1, 2.
1, 2.
Here we go.
Hello.
How are you feeling? How does this feel, Alanna?
Feels great now. You know.
You got through that speech.
Now that I got through my speech, I'm good, I think, yeah.
So as you were hearing all of the remarks and seeing the old photos and everything for both of you, what kind of memories, what were the first memories that came back for you of your careers on the field and in the court?
Well, I think I come back to the fact that, you know, without Vince, I don't know if I would have played soccer, because I played volleyball. And then the summer before my third year here, Vince came to see me at a senior women's soccer game and told me that I owed him $500. And I couldn't understand why I owed Vince $500. And he said, you know that scholarship that you got? And I did. I got a scholarship to go into my third year for $1,000. And he said, I helped you get it. And so you owe me $500. You can play volleyball, but you have to play soccer. And I said, okay. So.
Good negotiator.
Good, not bad. Yeah, not bad.
What about for you, George, when you see some of your former players sharing their tributes?
Well, it's kind of like memory lane. Certainly very appreciative of the very nice remarks made, that's for sure. But you know, the years are just kind of rolling through your head.
What were the biggest challenges for you in the early days of the program and helping to develop that program?
Well, I think, you know, Scott touched on one that really, that's recruiting. We'd like to think it's easy to recruit here, I guess, and everybody wants to come, but that's not necessarily the way it is. Of course, that's not the way it is at any university. So that would, you know, that would be a challenge.
The balance, I mean, for you, Alanna, we talked a bit about this when you were on my show, but that academic with the athletics, and you, George, balancing career and family and then the work. So can you talk a bit about that and trying to achieve that balance and succeed at all?
Well, I can tell you that part of it had to do with when I was in my first semester, second year. I took a course that I shouldn't have taken. I didn't do well in it, and I had to drop it. And so my second semester, second year, I had to take 6 courses, and I was playing volleyball, but I wanted to go to law school. And so I thought, no, you're not getting into law school with those marks, and you need to, you know, do some more work, and you need to focus and, you know, figure things out. And so I think it was really just figuring out what I wanted to do and then just, you know, making sure that I got it done.
And for you, George, when you hear Scott talking about hearing you on the phone and writing the letters and, you know, getting up early before the shift at the school and hitting into the gym, what drove you? What motivated you to do all that?
Well, I suppose simply the desire to do well, the fear of losing, and the, you know, the responsibility of trying to make young men be the best that they can be.
What would you say was the career high point for you during your time at UPEI?
That's a tough question, Matt, in the sense that, you know, it's 17 years, different classes, different eras. I mean, one would be foolish not to say that the 3 AUA championships and the 2 more we lost in the last minute and a half of the finals were not career highlights. Scott alluded to the winning streak. And when I first started coaching, as you know, we were coaching at Alumni Gym. Well, in 7.5 years, we lost exactly 1 home game.
That's a good run. That's a pretty good run. What about for you, Alanna, if you were looking back, a career highlight, either coaching or as an athlete?
Well, I think it would be the 2 seasons, so my 4th and 5th years when we made the playoffs. They were, you know, I think my 4th year we weren't supposed to make the playoffs, and we did. And then my 5th year, we sent a message to the rest of the year, to the rest of the league. We only lost 1 game that year, so those were the career highlights. I mean, the team things were fantastic, really.
Your speech was so great, reflecting on your family and your friendships. And how would you say your time at UPEI helped to kind of shape and define who you are now?
I think everyone has heard me talk a lot tonight. That will take a long time to answer, but well, a lot of the friends that I had when I was at UPEI, I still have them. There was women at that table there, and certainly my family that's still here. And so I think that when you are surrounded by people who love you and encourage you constantly, then you just continue that, you know, like when you grow up and then you get some new friends and they continue to love and encourage you and you continue to love and encourage them, and really it's just, I've been so fortunate that I've had so many people in my life who really have just have really just continued to lift me up.
George, I have to ask you, can I get courtside seats at a Celtics game? It's the most important question I have for you tonight.
I'm not sure I can get courtside seats.
But in all seriousness, I did joke with you when I saw you this summer, you were wearing the Celtics logo. I mean, you've been a long-time fan of this team, so to see your son up there paying tribute to you, but knowing what he's doing now, you know, because of what he learned from you, what is that like?
Well, it's pretty, obviously we're extremely proud of him. I wouldn't attribute his success to what he learned from me, but hopefully I made some small contribution.
I just wanted to end by reflecting on Barb Mullaly. And both of you knew, worked with Barb, and both mentioned in your speech. But any specific memories, Alanna, that you could share of being around Barb and that energy and enthusiasm?
I remember, I think one thing when the last year that I coached at UPEI with Lisa, and I remember talking to Barb, and I said, I don't know if we can do this. Like, I'm not sure. And she said, yeah, you can. I know that you can. You guys can do it. You'll be great. And we said, okay. So we kind of took a leap of faith and said, thank you, Barb.
Mm-hmm. Motivated John. What about for you, George?
There's not necessarily anything in particular that I can think of, Matt, but other than overall, you know, she provided leadership and let me coach.
And when you look back at your career, you saw some of the players there tonight, George. Who are some of the players you think about? You think about it with your time at UPEI?
Well, let me say first of all, Matt, going back to your question of highlights, right? Really, the highlight of my career is being allowed to have that coaching career. Excuse me, at the university level. I mean, there's only so many of those jobs, and you got to appreciate how fortunate you were to have had one of them for quite a stretch. I shy away from, it wouldn't be fair to even think of start singling out players. As I said before, different eras, whether the player, you know, was the star of the team or whether he was the 10th man on the team. A team is like a chain, it's only as strong as its weakest link. So every single one of those players contributed to the success we had.
Well, George and Alanna, huge congratulations to both of you and welcome to the Sport Hall of Fame. Thank you so much. George Morrison. And thank you to all of you for coming tonight as we draw to a close our evening. I think I'll step up to the podium because I do thank you. I do want to thank once again Grant Thornton for their support. Thanks to everyone for coming out, and hope you had a great evening. And thanks again to Charwell's Food. Thanks to Ron, Anir, and Chris, and Bruce, and everybody who helped to arrange this evening. And as I said at the outset, this is going to be a busy spot this weekend. We're talking a lot about basketball here tonight, so don't forget, it is basketball home opener night tomorrow night. And this place is going to be electric. 6 p.m., the women's game against UNB, and then the men's game at 8 o'clock. And don't forget that rugby matchup on Saturday afternoon. Thank you all for coming out again. To George, Alanna, to Barb Mullaly, thank you, and welcome to the Sport Hall of Fame. Great night.